You know, I'm so frustrated with this that I'm not even gonna script this episode. I'm just gonna tell you the entire story how it is, okay? But good news is, I did get out and shoot this weekend. Let's talk about it. Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome back to NBC Arts, the channel where we talk about filmmaking gear, tips, and tutorials. Today I got a couple tips for you, so what happened to me doesn't happen to you. Let's just get into the meat of it. So, a couple things happened to me this weekend. I decided that I wanted to sell my Sony a6500 and kind of maybe get some cash towards a new upgrade. I like the camera a lot, but since I had the C200, I really don't use that camera much for video work anymore. And I really did want kind of a full frame camera for like photography and stuff like that. Not to say that the photos coming out of that camera weren't awesome, but you know, full frame's full frame. You know, it makes a difference, in my opinion anyways. So I decided I want to sell this camera, and I'm trying to decide where I want to kind of sell it at. You know, so I weigh all my options from like local listing places to eBay to whatever else, and I decided to sell on Facebook because I feel like I can reach like a broader audience. Maybe some of my friends will see it and they'll kind of want to buy it. That way I can just meet up with them and be quick, easy, done, out, gone, okay? Little did I know that was the worst decision to make that I possibly could have. So, let's start at the beginning. I list the camera for sale, okay, and I'm posting the camera, lens, cage, 4 batteries, charger, whatever, the works. It comes in a kit, really, really nice, okay. I put it on the website for sale, okay. Get a couple hits, some pretty sketchy people texting me, and I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna sell to these guys. These guys are looking to probably just scam me. And then one guy comes along. So this guy sends me a message and asking me if it's a good camera and whatever to like rate it, you know, what's the condition, whatever. And I'm like, yeah, it's pretty good. I take pretty good care of my gear, so I wasn't really worried about the condition. I was selling my camera to these people because it is in pretty decent shape. He asked me about that. He asked me if it's a good camera for beginners because he's buying it for his daughter in California, blah, 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 blah. He asked me for more pictures. I'm like, sure, man, I'll send you some more pictures. That's no problem. Well, come to figure out that this guy is a scam artist. So he sends, hey, you know, do you have a PayPal account I can pay through? And I'm kind of wary of PayPal because I've only ever bought stuff from there, never sold anything from there. So this is kind of my first time, but I have an account, so I say, yeah, sure, let's go with PayPal. That's fine. That's just fine. I don't even care. So anyway, I go to PayPal and he says, all right, send me over your request and stuff like that, and he gives me his email and whatever, and so I send over my request, and he wants to pay full price for the camera, so I'm stoked because I'm like, great, I'm getting exactly the amount of money I want. I don't have to deal with haggling. This is amazing. I love those kinds of people that just like know the value of something and just, you know when they're getting a good deal. So I send him the request. He says, hey, got your request, and I just accepted it, and the money's been deducted from my account, so can you check your email to see if, you know, you got an email from PayPal saying that this has been confirmed? I'm like, yeah, sure, man, that sounds great. So he sends me so I get the email, and it looks pretty legit. You know, it came from PayPal, service at paypal.com or whatever the heck it was, and you know, the email looks pretty legit and whatever. I'm like, yeah, got it. And, you know, and then I go back on my account to see if the thing's there. Well, it says pending on there and never selling anything before requesting money from somebody. I didn't know what that looked like. So I was like, yeah, everything's great. Yeah, sure. Everything is great. I'll send over the stuff. Tomorrow I'll get it packed up and wrapped up tonight, and I'll send it out to you tomorrow from FedEx because that's what he wanted, and that's the people I prefer to ship stuff through. So everything was working out great, except for one thing. He wanted me to send me the tracking number via email versus putting it in on the website. Now, for me, I was like, this sounds kind of weird because, like, wouldn't there be an option to put, like, the tracking number on PayPal? Like, you know, like, or whatever. So I do a little research, do a little digging. And, of course there is. Of course there's an option for that. So I send him a message. I send him a message saying, hey, buddy, listen, I can't find where to put this tracking number in. Do you know how to do this? Like, have you done this before? And he says, you just need to reply to the email with the tracking number. I was like, yeah, but it says that I can put it in on there when I like look it up and ask how to do it and stuff like that. Cause like for me, it didn't make any sense. So when he said this to me, I just decided, hey, I'm gonna call somebody up. So I call a buddy and I'm like, hey, this is what's happening. Okay, and so he gets online and he says, bro, you're being scammed. I'm like, wait, what? Nah, this guy seems legit. Like, he has a Facebook account, everything else like that. He has like 200 and something friends. So I'm like, you know, probably like me. Like, I don't have very many friends on Facebook, so I mean, who am I to judge? He says, no, bro, you're being scammed. He sends me this article saying that this is how they do it. They pretend to put the money in your account, but really they just send you an email saying the money's been deposited when there is no money. And they're just gonna trick you into sending your stuff because that's why they want the tracking number over email, is because they didn't really put any money in your account on PayPal, so there's no way you can enter tracking information there at all. I was like, oh, all right. So basically what happened was he sent me this email, this fraudulent email, saying for me to just basically send my item to him, give him the tracking number, and then I would never see my money or my camera ever again. People are smart these days. So I kind of get on to him and I say, hey buddy, I'm gonna call PayPal in the morning, you know, get this all straightened out, because it just doesn't make any sense, because I don't have any money in there. Like, I mean, I thought I saw it, but it wasn't there. It just was my pending charge to you. So I'm not gonna send you the camera until I get the cash. We'll figure this all out. We'll figure this all out in the morning. I'll call him in the morning. Never hear back from the guy. Okay, never hear back from him. I'm like, yep. Anyway, I go to sleep. Everything's fine. Whatever. I wake up the next morning. Same thing. Different account. I was flabbergasted. This guy, same thing, starts the conversation the same way. And so I'm kind of wary at this point, so I'm kind of buttering him up a little bit. I'm like, oh yeah, sure, that sounds great. And he says, I'll offer you $1,000 if you send it to Florida. And so I look at this guy's Facebook account, and the guy lives in Wisconsin, so I'm like, hey, before I send everything off, before I make my PayPal account, because I tell him I don't have one this time, just to see what he says. And he says, why am I sending it to Florida when you live in Wisconsin? Buying it for Cousin Frank. Where have I heard that before? Daughter in California, Cousin Frank. Seems like the same thing. Well, and then I send him a text saying this. I say, hey, so my friends have told me that I have to reply to you with a tracking number via email with PayPal. Is this true? Do you know if this is true? And so he sends me a link to a fake PayPal website saying, hey, make your account here, submit your banking information, and then we can get this rolling. Just follow all the instructions. And so I send him a text saying, this guy's name is Thomas. So I say, Tommy, can I call you Tommy? You failed the test. I know you're a scammer. It's wrong to scam people. Tell Phil. He's also found out, you know, so, and I'm gonna be reporting you to Facebook and PayPal for this shit. And never hear from him again. So, if you're out there, Thomas, Phil, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry, but you're not gonna scam me today. But I'm mostly sorry about Cousin Frank, because he's never gonna get his camera. Poor Cousin Frank. Maybe I'll invite him on the channel one day. Who knows? Anyway, all that stuff put aside, something good did happen this weekend, and I actually got out to go and shoot this weekend. And this is where my second piece of advice comes in, friends. So, if you're not aware, and if you're watching this video kind of in the future and stuff like that, there's a global pandemic going on right now, and people were kind of told to stay indoors. There was some, you know, like shelter-in-place orders kind of put up and stuff like that. So people haven't been out in a long time and stuff like that. And I haven't seen my friends in a while either. And well, things are starting to get a little bit better right now. Is the time of this recording. I was like, hey, buddy, do you want to go out and like shoot something? I haven't been shooting in a while. Like, I've just been making these YouTube videos at home, trying to get as much done as I possibly can, like staying at home and, you know, helping the cause, I guess, as you could say. He says, yeah, sure, I've been dying to go. Well, I told him I had an idea for a little short film and stuff like that I wanted to film and whatever, and it wouldn't be too complicated, so it would just be me and him or whatever, and he says, cool. So we go up into the mountains. We're gonna go film this short film and stuff like that. Well, it kind of looked like it was gonna be cloudy all day, according to the weather, but turns out the sun decided to come out, and so it was really nice, super chill outside, and the vibe was completely ruined for whatever I had planned to film. And so I was like, hey man, since we're out here, do you just want to get some cool B-roll? Maybe I can turn this into kind of a video. This one I'm recording right now. Pretty sick, huh? He says, sure, yeah. So we start filming some B-roll and stuff like that. Well, I had my C200 rigged up in its like cinema kind of configuration and stuff like that. So it was heavy. It was super heavy. And he brought his A7 III, right? So like, he had perfect setup, you know. He had like a zoom lens and his camera, and he was just flying around getting B-roll shots, taking some pictures and whatever, and I was just lugging this 20-pound freaking camera along with me. Which brings me to my point. There is a camera for every single situation, right? You're never gonna find a camera that is actually like, you know, a jack of all trades, good for every situation. It's just not gonna happen. That's why so many of them exist. That's why so many different models exist. Like, if it were me, I mean, the C200 would have done good in this situation if it wasn't all rigged up, but if it were my choice, I would have just brought out like a DSLR to go film with me. You know, especially since we were just out having a good time, just recording and filming stuff because we had been so long. So, you know, but the C200 is perfect for situations like this, where we're in a studio situation, or it's great for feature films, or it's great for commercial shoots when you have like a crew, or you're by yourself, or you have time and you have the equipment, you have the support equipment, so you don't freaking die while hiking around in the mountains with a 20-pound camera on your back and in your arms and stuff like that. So just keep that in mind for whenever you're trying to take out a camera or pick out a camera and stuff like that. Don't worry about trying to find the best overall camera, because there is a different camera for every single kind of situation. And you know what, and that's why renting's so good. That's why the renting business is so alive, because like cameras are more and more accessible every single like year. You know, they seem to be going down in price, but all the specs just keep coming up. Like the C200, like to get specs like this on a camera like 10 years ago, like it would cost you $20,000, but it can cost you $5,000 right now. You know, so it's kind of crazy what happens with technology, but keep in mind that, you know, an RA Alexa or a C200 or C500 or a Red is not good for every single situation that you find yourself in. So going forward, take these two pieces of advice with you. One, don't get scammed on Facebook, okay? If you're looking to sell your gear, I would highly recommend Gear Focus. They're pretty cool when it comes to that kind of stuff. It's kind of like, if you've ever been on Reverb, it's kind of like an eBay for guitars. This is kind of like an eBay for camera gear, okay? So that's a good place to sell your stuff on there, and you have a pretty like focused audience for that too, so it's not just like a bunch of people looking at it all at once. Or, you know, eBay's always good too. Or just find somebody local, like put an ad up on, since I live here in Utah, KSL is a good place to sell stuff, and I'm sure there's like other local listing places wherever you guys live, where if you're watching this video. The second piece of advice is there's always going to be a different camera for every single type of situation. So the best piece of advice is to find one that suits you the best. Whether you're doing weddings or commercial or narrative film or whatever, there's a camera for you out there. Don't worry about all the spec sheets and like the newest model coming out each year, because you know what, likelihood you really don't need that stuff in the long run. And if you do want to play with it and you do want to like use it for a gig or whatever, just rent it. You can charge the client later. Shh, that stays between you and me. All right, everybody, that's it for me this week. Follow me on Instagram. I'm gonna actually plug my Instagram to this one for the first time ever. I don't really post a whole lot, but I'm gonna change that soon. If you like this video, leave a comment and a like down below. If you really want to see more from me, make sure to click that subscribe button, and I will see you in the next video.